In this video, I am going to show you some of the permanent flowering plants that comes in a variety of shapes, sizes and colors and are easy to grow even when growing them in pots. We will talk about their season and some of the care tips, so keep watching and do subscribe to our channel. Let's start from the most obvious plant, that is hibiscus plant. It's a tropical area summer season permanent flowering plant. You can grow this in the starting springs and it will grow very well all around the summers. Winter is its resting time, but it can pass that very easily. Hibiscus plant comes in many varieties. Some have single petal flowers. Some grow multi-petal flowers with 100 of flower colors. Besides flowers variation, hibiscus plant also have leaf variation like this, but that variety is a little sensitive. Otherwise, hibiscus plant is a very easy to grow plant that can live up to 20 years with a proper care and maintenance. It likes a good size pot. In smaller pot, the growth will be very slow, so consider such a grow bag. A detailed playlist is added in the video description on hibiscus plant care, pruning method, the best fertilizer, repotting, all in that playlist, must check it out. The second plant in our permanent flowering plants list is the 𝘾𝙘𝙬𝙧 plant. 𝘾𝙘𝙬𝙧 plant is basically a winter's flowering plant, but it can grow year long. Only the flowering season is in winters and springs. Its dormancy time starts in summers that continue until starting winters. During summers, 𝘾𝙬𝙬𝙧 plant can grow but only in a bright shade. The direct sunlight can kill this plant, otherwise it's a very fast growing plant that can live up to 6 to 7 years with the proper care. A video on its care guide is linked in the video description. 𝘾𝙬𝙬𝙧 plant also comes in several shapes and colors. Some of them are hardy and some are sensitive varieties. So as a beginner, you should start from a hardy variety so you don't fail. They can be grown in smaller pots very easily, but it's better to give it a good size pot. The next permanent flowering plant is the jasmine plant, that is a very hardy and easy to grow summers plant. Its season starts as the spring starts and it continues to produce buds and flowers until late summer days. Winter season is its resting time. At this time you should water very carefully, other than that it can pass these days very easily. Some of the care guide videos on its pruning, fertilizer and growth hacks are added in the video description. Remember, jasmine can live and produce flowers up to 7 to 10 years very easily. Simply follow the tips and tricks described in the description box videos. Jasmine is a family of many flowering plants like star jasmine, Mogra jasmine, Arabian jasmine, etc. All of them have different flowers, but their care requirement is almost same. All of them can be grown in a good size container also. The next plant in our list is the Vinca rosea, that is also called as periwinkle. The common variety of Vinca plant is a permanent plant that can survive very well up to 2 to 4 years even in pots. Vinca plant also have a hybrid variety that have a shorter life, but this pink color variety is easy to grow and produce many flowers. Vinca plant's season of growth starts in the early spring and continue up to late summer days. In the winters, you should move this plant in a shaded area with some indirect sunlight. Yellow leaves are very common in the dormancy time, so don't worry about that. Simply go through some of the videos on Vinca plant linked in the description box and they will guide you all about this beautiful flowering plant. The next plant in our permanent flowering plants list is the lantana plant, that is a very widely growing container plant. Basically, lantana plant is a summer's flowering plant that starts its growth in the springs and continue up to late summer days. In the winters, you will notice a stunted growth with yellowing leaves, so that's normal. Just give it some time and it will bloom again in springs. Lantana plant comes in several varieties with different flower colors and growth styles. They have dwarf variety as well as wild one. At the start and for containers, dwarf lantana plant is best. Some of the care videos for lantana plant are also added in the video description. About the pot, they also like a good size pot and try to choose such a grow bag with a loose soil mix to plant lantana. Grow bags are also added in the video description to buy. One of the permanent flowering plant is the gardenia plant that grow beautiful flowers but in limited amount. Their fertilizer requirement is very high. For them, consider using this homemade fertilizer, otherwise the leaves will turn like this. You can make this fertilizer at home. Video is linked in the description box. Gardenia plant is a summer's plant and have such type of a variegated type as well, but it's better to grow a common one at the start. This plant is not for beginners as it requires a lot of active care. Another permanent flowering plant is the rose plant, that is a winter's flowering plant and can grow in pots for several years very easily. It's a sensitive plant and a little change in the soil's nutritional value immediately causes leaf problems, so consider using the fertilizer added in the video description. Rose plant have beautiful flowers with a huge variety of colors and shapes. Some rose varieties are rare and have smaller flowers, while some of them are common and easy to grow as well. A few videos on rose plant care, causes of yellowing leaves and much more are added in the description box, must check that out. Another beautiful flowering plant in our list is the begonia plant, that is a mid-season plant. It likes a little warmness, but in hot summers it stops its growth. The common one have such type of flowers that grow in much quantity. This plant can also survive in pots very easily and have a life of around 3 years with proper care. Almost all of these flowering plants likes a full day of direct sunlight to produce more flowers. For the fertilizer, you can use this homemade fertilizer because it's best for flowering plants. Here is the video to show you all about making this fertilizer at home and use it every 10 days for better results. If you need an advice for your plants, WhatsApp link is in the description box. It costs just $5.